Welcome to the show. Great to be with you. Thanks for tuning in. Pardon me. Woo. Hope you're having a good day and all is well. Wherever and however you may be listening or watching the show and whatever you may be doing. Yesterday, that was good yesterday. We had Dr. Michael Murray on and we had Neil Levin. And in my conversation with Dr. Murray, we're talking about the holidays and the stress associated with holidays to the extent that Christmas and New Year's become risk factors for death. Oh, who packaged that up as a gift? Oof. I may get to that a little bit, which leads me to tell you a little something I want to share with you today. Give you a little different twist on stress. I haven't talked about it too much in this way. There's a syndrome called General Adaptation Syndrome, GAS, and it implicates the fight or flight response, and it's a 3-stage response. Hans Selye, who's sometimes considered the father of the concept of stress, developed the idea. Hans Selye, that was in the 20th century, early on, and he made a great contribution. He didn't invent stress; he defined it and talked about it and made us more. He was a medical doctor. He was a researcher, and it's a theory. Okay, gas is a theory, and it's a 3-stage response that focuses on the physiological changes that your body goes through when you get exposed to stress or when you're under stress. So we'll talk about that a little bit. And in my conversation yesterday, too, with Dr. Murray, Michael Murray, the notion of loneliness came up. And he said that he felt that loneliness was one of the more formidable stressors during the holidays. I agree with him on that. There are many variables, but loneliness is truly one that has that is a stressor. Running around from airport to airport, trying to catch a plane, trying to catch a bus or a plane, whatever, boat, whatever means of transportation you're using, being on the move, physically active, that can be very stressful too. Loneliness is not a physical activity, obviously. It's a psycho-emotional experience. But it's stressful. Maybe we'll highlight that a little bit more, too. There's Hans Selye.
Found a picture of Hans.
Yeah. Gary, put that back up, man. There you go. That's Hans Selye, Dr. Selye. Very, very bright. You look at him, you can see. Look at that. He has smart written all over him, doesn't he? He made a great contribution in theorizing about stress and what the fight or flight response is. Just amazing. Made it more apprehendable for everybody. And I've said it many times on air. I'm on record. In my opinion, stress is in the top 3 factors that lead to early aging, early death, ill health, turns everything upside down. Diet is up in there too, right? But stress, man. And this time of year, it starts, and it operates. You don't think so. Sometimes just trying to get the shopping done and things like that can be very stressful.
Parking. We ran into that was a couple of weeks ago when we were trying to park, and it was like, this is ridiculous.
Right.
And,
I'm not a frontline parker.
We couldn't even park in the back.
I park out in the hinterlands. I'm not a frontline parker because I don't like my doors banged up. And what gets me stressed is I'll park way out there, right? You need to pack a lunch to get to where you're going. And I'll park by myself. I'll have a spot. No cars for 15 yards on either side of my vehicle. I come back out from the department store, and there's some putz parked right next to my car.
And there's like 3 or 4 spaces that I thought I couldn't stop laughing.
Spaces you could put 15 cars. No, they got to park right next to your car, and they park close, and then you have to go check I'm thinking it's the herd instinct, right?
Yes.
Humans herd. They herd.
And I'm generous enough to wait till you pull out of the garage before I get in.
Were you laughing at me when I was complaining? I said, look at this guy.
It's funny you guys bring up, driving in a sense. You're talking about parking. Just the last week when we had Thanksgiving, the schools have off, so there's no school buses on the road, and there's a lot less people, so getting into work was a heck of a lot easier.
Yeah, it was.
I was thinking about it on the drive-in, how there's all these unknown stresses. Like there's times when you realize, oh man, this is stressing me out. But just that day-to-day activity of driving to work, it does stress me out. And then I just kind of had this somewhat of epiphany of I'm driving. I'm like, this is a nice drive-in this morning, and I was just. Right. And there's a lot of stresses that you don't know that daily stress you out that just eat at your system.
Stephen makes a wonderful point, and that he said it better than I did. That's what I was trying to sort of get at. That oftentimes you're under stress and you don't even realize it.
Okay.
His point's well taken.
So again, this morning I'm driving in and I'm coming down 301, which is is very busy.
Ooh.
And I'm behind a diesel truck that the guy is pedal pumping.
And you don't know. Yeah, right. He keeps hitting the brakes, so you don't know what to do.
But you know what was worse? I wasn't so mad about that. I was mad at the fact that every time he hit the gas, big old plumes of diesel came out.
Right.
And
I'm
just like, dude.
Right.
And it bothered me to the point when I got in here, I was like, I'm just gonna do my thing.
And volumes and volumes and volumes have been written on this topic. So today I'll zero in on this one theory called general adaptation syndrome. You might have a question or two. You might want to participate. This is all by way of saying just raise our consciousness about the holidays and stress. Take a breath, practice mindfulness, and just say, let's keep this all in perspective. All right? Yeah, easy to say. But here's how you can get in touch with the show.
Call the show at 877-897-8255. That's 877-897-8255. Or follow us on Facebook at Let's Talk Nutrition, on Instagram at Let's Talk Nutrition, and Twitter at LTN Radio.
So as I said, Hans Selye, he was born in Vienna, Vienna-born scientist. He was the first to describe gas or to come up with a theory, general adaptation syndrome. It's 3 stages, not hard to understand, but my notion of sharing this with you is that if you know what it is that's affecting you, maybe you can do better in managing that thing, in this case, stress. And he did experiments. He was doing experiments with rats, and they displayed the same set of physical responses to several different stressors. He exposed them to like the cold temperatures, excessive physical activity, injection with toxins, and so on. Come back, I'll tell you more. This is an interesting little theory, easy to understand.
I'm Joy McCarthy, holistic nutritionist, and I expect more from my multivitamin. I've researched many vitamins, and what's truly different about Every Woman's One Daily from New Chapter is that it's fermented with probiotics and whole foods and gentle even on an empty stomach. Every Woman's One Daily helps you feel good every day. giving you immune, energy, and stress support, and nutrients for bone and heart health. You will notice a difference. Every Woman's One Daily recently won the Best Multivitamin Award, and I love that it's non-GMO project verified. Discover the wisdom of nature with New Chapter.
Whether you spend your free time on a treadmill, under a car, or in your garden, if your active lifestyle leaves you sore, Body Figure's Inflammaforce may be exactly what you need. Inflammaforce has a natural herb blend that acts as an anti-inflammatory to help maintain healthy joint and mobility support. There are standardized herbs like white willow, boswellia, turmeric, ginger, and devil's claw. The vegetarian capsule promotes easy digestion and a fast-acting dissolve process. Inflammaforce includes a proprietary enzyme herbal blend full of antioxidants and flavonoids that target pain and inflammation throughout the body. Body Vigor's Inflammaforce contains ingredients that support normal, healthy joint flexibility and function, builds healthy tissue, and helps with your recovery process. So if you're tired of sore joints and inflamed muscles, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce is your answer. Purchase Inflammaforce.
General.
236 a gallon.
It's 230. Or the other gas.
Yeah.
General adaptation syndrome. Thought I'd share this with you. Maybe it'll help you during the holidays. At least you'll know what's happening to you. You say, well, yeah, this is sort of like going over Niagara Falls. I realize I'm falling off the falls, but there's nothing I can do about it. Except look at the bottom and say, oh, crap. Something bad's going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, There's no stopping it.
You know, as much as I know about some of these things, when they're happening to me, I'm the dumbest guy on the block. It doesn't help. I admit, I'm human. Just, you say, well, gee, you know a lot about these things. That means you really got this all handled. Yeah, no. There's theory, and then there's the practice. And sometimes it's very difficult to put the theory into practice. You can know a lot. You can read all the books on Zen you want till you put yourself into a coma. But if you can't put those principles into practice, you might as well go read a comic book. It might do you better.
Well, it's funny that we've talked about this, and we've talked about this before, and we've talked about how in police work there's that stress factor, what they call pucker factor.
Well, you know it well.
And you get tunnel vision, and you have to go back to muscle memory because you have to take a physical action. But no one teaches you how to deal with the mental state after the stress.
I'm surprised that they should have more workshops, more opportunities for firefighters, police officers, EMT personnel, these first responders that are under stress. I've conducted my share of workshops, and I admittedly, and I will tell people that in a workshop, I can do that workshop without notes.
Right.
All right. But sometimes under stress, it's hard to marshal all of that so-called knowledge and put it into practice because you're human. There's one principle, Gary. It's funny you alluded to it. This is pretty well established. When under stress, the dominant response emerges.
Okay.
So if you have a police officer, when put under stress, that dominant response for that officer is to overreact. More often than not, that's what that officer will do.
Yes.
Or you have a police officer when put in a stressful situation, a hot pursuit or something like that, they stay calm. That's just their that's just hard to explain the differences, but that's that hot pursuit. What do we see officers do? They get so amped.
By the time they capture the guy,
they're ready to break the law themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's their dominant response. And so you have to teach them about what their response is, and do they understand that, and what that dominant response may be, and what are they actually going through, and why are they feeling the way they feel, what happens to them psycho-emotionally, physiologically. That's, once you have that understanding, it helps. Now, I was being self-deprecating. I do a lot better than I used to in managing the stress because of my knowledge of it. But I've had moments when I suffer fools pretty well.
Right.
You ever heard the expression, somebody doesn't suffer fools well, people just being stupid? I do that okay. I have no problem. I'm very patient. Admittedly, what I don't do well with is somebody who's just being a bully and arrogant.
Yes. I'm not a
I just don't do well with that. And admittedly, I just don't. And I'm trying to work at that, but it's hard.
I had an incident. My son, his senior year, his junior year. His junior year, he was eating lunch, and the lunchroom at the school was packed. So they had to actually take kids and put them in the gymnasium for lunchtime. That's how overcrowded the school was. So we're sitting there talking, and he tells me the story. He goes, Dad, you might be getting a phone call. And I'm like, why? He goes, well, there was a couple kids picking on this one kid, and I stood up and I jumped in their way and I threw my chair at him. And I said, if you're going to pick on him, then you need to go through me. And the other kid sat down, and I did get a phone call. It wasn't from the school. It was from the other kids' parents that got picked on, thanking me that I had taught my child
Stick up for somebody.
Stick up for somebody, respect. And I thought, if we did that more often in life, how much things would be better.
But, it's just an interesting. We're all off track, but this is a story about life. My friend Leo Duman just passed away. Remember the other day, a few months ago, I announced it on air. My friend Leo. We were pals. We grew up in the same neighborhood, and everybody picked on him. Everybody picked on him. His ears were big and they stuck out, and sort of nerdy looking, but he could play baseball. He was very good at baseball, and the kids picked on him unmercifully. And I got in more fights for him. And I would stick up for him. Not too long before he passed away, he had called me, and he used to call me Mike. He'd say, Mike, I remember how you would. This is right before he passed away. I remember how you used to stick up for me. I remember how you used to stick up for me. Funny you mentioned that. Yeah, I just don't do well with bullies and arrogance, and I need to work on that. That's a weakness.
The perfect complement to your beauty regimen? Try Form Essentials Zinnia. The finest of its kind, Zinnia offers twice as much biotin as other formulas, which has proven to unlock the vibrancy in even the dullest of hair, skin, and nails. Zinnia breaks through and rejuvenates cells internally, helping you achieve the allure of effortless beauty. Reviving your hair, skin, and nails has never been easier. This essential blend of biotin, alpha-lipoic, and hyaluronic acid, collagen, and vitamin C creates lasting enhancements to your natural good looks. Don't go on wondering. You're worth the results. This combination of ingredients can only be found in Zinnia. Pamper yourself with a proven bit of affordable luxury and start looking your best. Ask for Zinnia by name at your nearest vitamin retailer to begin your journey to restored nails, head-turning hair, and radiant skin today. For more information, visit formessentials.com.
When your alarm goes off, do you jump out of bed with excitement? Or does it take multiple alarms, a few snooze buttons, or a morning caffeine fix to get you going? These habits and daily stress cause a vicious cycle in which sleep becomes increasingly elusive. In fact, 54% of Americans report struggles to fall or stay asleep. For a better night's rest, look no further than Solace, an all-natural dietary supplement that supports healthy sleep and relaxation, so you get the rest you need to wake up clear-eyed, alert, and ready for the day. Solace has given thousands a better night's rest and the power to take back their mornings while enjoying the day ahead of them. Solace is formulated with non-addictive, scientifically proven, all-natural ingredients that support sleep and relaxation, such as melatonin, tryptophan, and 5-HTP. For more information or to order Solace, visit takesolace.com. Solace, for healthy sleep naturally.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition, wherever and however you may be listening or watching the show.
And that's stressful too, though.
Whatever. What's that?
Being right anyway, and
Being
people
right, when people don't listen to you.
Yes.
That's called being a parent or being a spouse.
How is Mrs. Dr. Garko, the other Dr. Garko?
My daughter?
Yes.
She's in India. She's doing well. She's there for 2 weeks this time. That's stressful.
Traveling is stressful. Okay, so we're coming to the holidays.
It took her 20 hours to get there.
Are you kidding me? That's
20
a day.
20 hours,
Almost
and
a day.
they're a day ahead. They're 1 day ahead, so you lose a full day.
Okay, so she left on the 27th, and she got there on the 29th?
Yeah, exactly. Technically. And when she got off the plane, she had to go right to work because it was early in the morning.
Ugh.
She's in India. They don't drink the water. They don't eat any fruit or vegetables because they wash. So everything she eats is in the restaurant. It has to be cooked, bottled, packaged, canned.
Okay.
Because some of her colleagues got sick.
So here's what I'm thinking about stress: shopping, traveling, family members that shouldn't be in the same state with each other,
let alone the same dinner table.
Yeah.
With firearms in the house.
Yeah. What else? What else?
What else?
Health. And we forgot health, right?
Well, being lonely during this time of year, the stressors for holiday. I've written about this. Being just the travel, the shopping, the crowds, being put into crowded spaces, the heavy traffic on the highway, the heavy traffic in the malls. Humans don't do well in confined spaces and people pushing and shoving. Just look how they behave to one another. Rude, impolite, irritated, short of temper, and whatnot. Being frustrated with the salesperson. I mean, it's endless. By the time you get home after any given day, you're a mess. And this goes on for weeks. Never mind either all the bad food, excess drinking, breaking up routines, not exercising, not sleeping well. Need I go on? Now, maybe I can make a contribution. Clearly, stress is common, and it's certainly common during this time of year. You cannot control it. You can't control those crowds. You can't control the traffic. You can't control that rude salesperson. No. Those are stressors that are outside your span of influence. What you do control, or what you manage, is your response. So that's what we mean by managing stress. You're trying to manage your response and the situation so that you don't unravel. Now, even if you know about the physical effects of stress, you know what they are, you feel them. We still might not know or be unaware of the different stages of stress. The different stages, according to Selye's theory, are three, and it's called the General Adaptation Syndrome, GAS. When you understand these different stages, these three stages, perhaps that will help you respond a little better. At least you'll know what phase you're in and what's going on and why you're doing what you're doing and feeling what you're feeling and so on. And it's easier to identify the signs of chronic stress in yourself and others if you maybe understand these three little stages. So, GAS is a 3-stage process that describes what? The physical changes that happen to you when you experience stress. Dr. Selye, when he was doing experiments, he found that a series of changes would happen, physiological changes would happen in rats after they would be exposed to a stressful event, like electric shock, extreme cold, toxic chemicals, whatever it might be. Dr. Selye surmised that these changes were not an isolated case, but rather the typical way organisms respond to stress. And the 3 stages are ARE, alarm, resistance, exhaustion. Alarm, resistance, exhaustion. Understanding these different responses and how they relate to one another may help you manage and cope with stress a little better, we would hope. So what is the alarm reaction stage? That refers to the first symptoms that you experience when you are engaged in a stressful event. It's called the fight or flight response, and it's a physiological response to stress. What happens to your body in fight or flight, it's preparing itself to do what? Either fight or flee. You're going to fight to protect yourself or flee to protect yourself because you perceive a dangerous situation. What happens physiologically? Your heart rate increases. Your adrenal glands start pumping out cortisol like nobody's business, which is a stress hormone. You get adrenaline pumping out, epinephrine, norepinephrine. The adrenaline increases energy. That's why when you're under stress, you get this, you get amped. You feel it, the surge of energy. So the fight or flight response happens in the alarm reaction stage. Then you go into resistance. After this initial stage or shock of a stressful event where you're having a fight or flight experience, the body does what? Repair itself. It releases a lower amount of cortisol. The heart rate returns and blood pressure return to normal. The adrenaline cut back. All the stress hormones are cut back. And you're moving into a phase where you need to repair and get your hormones back into proper balance and heart rate functioning properly, blood pressure. Some stressors will continue. If you're in an office being managed by somebody from a Hitler Youth camp who's just terrible, that stress is there all day long. And you can't escape. So you're put into that stress mode. That's called chronic stress. All day long. And that whole process is on. The switch is left on. It's devastating to the body. Devastating to your psychological well-being. The body does not like to have all of these stress hormones in the bloodstream. Your blood pressure will remain high. Your heart rate will remain high. You become anxious and irritable. Yeah. We'll be right back. I'll tell you more.
Whether you spend your free time on a treadmill, under a car, or in your garden, if your active lifestyle leaves you sore, Body Figures Inflammaforce may be exactly what you need. Inflammaforce has a natural herb blend that acts as an anti-inflammatory to help maintain healthy joint and mobility support. There are standardized herbs like white willow, boswellia, turmeric, ginger, and devil's claw. The vegetarian capsule promotes easy digestion and a fast-acting dissolve process. Inflammaforce includes a proprietary enzyme herbal blend full of antioxidants and flavonoids that target pain and inflammation throughout the body. Body Vigor's Inflammaforce contains ingredients that support normal, healthy joint flexibility and function, builds healthy tissue, and helps with your recovery process. So if you're tired of sore joints and inflamed muscles, Body Vigor's Inflammaforce is your answer. Purchase Inflammaforce exclusively on Amazon.com.
Stress, boy. Talking about the general adaptation syndrome, and that's a theory that tries to capture what happens to the body when put under stress. It was a theory developed by Hans Selye, and there's 3 stages to it. And I'm describing those so that perhaps you will do better when confronted with stressful situations, especially during the holidays. And as I was saying before we headed into those messages, it's remarkable how we fall prey to it. And sometimes don't even, as Stephen was pointing out, sometimes we're under stress and we don't even know it. But this general adaptation response, the first stage, as I said, is the alarm reaction. That's when the fight or flight response is kicked in, the actual stress response. Then there's the resistance stage. And theoretically, that's when the body is supposed to try to return back to normal and repair itself. And then there's what's called the exhaustion stage. And after an extended period of stress, your body goes into this final stage of general adaptation syndrome. And at this time, the body is depleted of energy pretty much, especially if you're under chronic stress. That's why you feel so fatigued. It takes a lot of energy to mount the stress response. And you're trying to recover from that initial alarm reaction stage. Once it reaches the exhaustion stage, once you're in that phase, your body is no longer able to fight stress. Once it's in that stage, you'll feel tired. You may even be unable to cope. You might be a little depressed. You might even be anxious. This often happens to people after a very stressful event. It could be a death in the family, whatever. They go through all those stages, and they get to that final stage, and they get depressed. They get all sorts of things I just described, or anxious, unable to cope. They're exhausted. They're literally exhausted. That stress response that happens in that initial stage, in the alarm reaction stage, consumes so much energy. It depletes you.
Okay. So after one of the interrogation techniques that police use, the reason why they don't take a guy to jail for a while after it's a big crime, big case, is they see if he falls asleep in the cell.
Really?
Because if he falls asleep, it comes back to the gas, the tiredness, the depression, the anxiety, because the stress of, I've been caught, it's over.
So then what do? Go and interrogate him again?
Yeah, well, they'll wait to see if he falls asleep. They'll let him rest, and then they'll come back and interrogate him again.
Well, of course, that is stressful. Whether you did the crime or not, it's stressful. So these stages occur for everybody. So you might recognize them this holiday. You got that initial the initial stage of gas, the alarm reaction stage. That's when you're in the fight or flight response. Then there's the resistance stage, when you'll start to feel like you're going back to normal. Blood pressure normalizes and so on, pulse rate, whatnot. And then there is the exhaustion stage, when you couldn't mount the stress response again unless it was really severe, a severe threat. Now, there are physical threats that we respond to, but also psychological threats. I use the word threat loosely here. Being stuck in traffic is not a threat per se, but it's a threat about what? I'm going to be late for work, right? It's some perceived threat of some sort. It could be somebody chasing you, somebody trying to grab your pocketbook, somebody's pushing you through a line. You perceive that as a threat. But there's also psychological. You perceive a psychological threat. Having a partner who is ill-tempered, right?
Or a boss.
Or a boss who's ill-tempered could go off any time. That's stressful. You perceive that threat, and it's uncomfortable. It's a threat in a sense, right? You follow that metaphor here. Sometimes it actually is a threat. So this is what we experience. I hope that this helps you understand what is happening. It happens to me. It happens to you. It happens to organisms. In addition to humans, other organisms. They experience stress. Of course, they can't intellectualize it and talk about it and think about it and reflect on it. That's what makes us different. But you get my point. Now, what can you do about it in terms of trying to manage stress and trying to do better with it? First thing, and it's hard to do, especially if it's chronic stress, get sleep and rest. If you can, somehow find a way. That's always a prescription that's written. Sleep and rest. Exercise. Almost everybody knows that. They feel better when they exercise when experiencing stress. Have people around you that are a good social support system. The last thing you need are dark, uptight, stressed out people. You need to avoid, I'm sorry, but if you can avoid them, you need to avoid them until and when you start to feel better. Eat the right foods. Here's what typically happens. Under stress, we crave those very foods that are not good for us. The salt, the sugar, and the fat. Why? In part because they make us feel better, and we're wanting to feel better. Hence, the burgers and the fries and the shakes and the ice cream and the candy bars and the cookies, the crackers, the cakes, the chips, the colas, the cupcakes, and so on. I could go on for 15 minutes with those C words. So be mindful of that. It's complicated, right? It is and it isn't. So I hope that at least explaining the phenomenon of gas, general adaptation syndrome, you have a better grasp and you'll at least know what's happening to you, and maybe you'll cope and manage better. I'll leave you with one final thought. You don't control stress, you manage it. If you try to control it, it's stressful. You can't control the traffic. You can't control what somebody else is going to do. All you can do is control your own response. And with that, we'll go into the top of the hour, have some messages. We'll come back and we'll have Siggy on. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Thanks for tuning in this holiday episode of LTN. We are in the grips of the holidays. If you missed the first portion, I talked about a theory called GAS, General Adaptation Syndrome. It's what happens to the body when under stress. It's a theory by Hans Selye, Dr. Hans Selye. It makes eminently good sense. There's a lot of that theory has been confirmed quite a bit. There's a substantial amount of research, science to support the theory, experiments with animals and whatnot. So you can always go back and listen and watch shows because everything is on demand. And we encourage you to get in touch with the show. We always love connecting. That's what the show is about. It's about connection. Yes, it's a health talk show, but it's a show about life. And in the real sense, we're all in it together, aren't we, though, at the end of the day? And we're always trying to educate and empower ourselves so that we can do what? Live a longer life with quality of life, manage our life a little better, manage our health, gain a little insight here and there, small win here, a small win there. Small wins are a big deal with me. It's a valid concept. And that's what we do around here daily, in essence. And we love talking with you and hearing from you and what's on your mind, what you're experiencing, maybe something you've tried that you can share. I had yesterday, a listener to the show called me, and I had met her and talked to her. And, her daughter passed away. And she called, and Stephen didn't want to, he thought it was a private, so I took it off air, took the call off air. I didn't, out of sensitivity and good taste, I didn't want to put that on the air. And she was heartbroken, just heartbroken. And there's a lot of that goes on. You need your mic on, man.
Living longer than your children is
terrible. It's terrible. And, talk about stress because it's out of your control, right? And you're just trying to figure out how to cope with this. But I share that with you to say, it's by way of saying that you're not alone. You can always call the show. And you don't have to speak on air. I'll talk with you off air. And if I can't give you an answer or help in some form or fashion, trust me, I know somebody who can. I'll find somebody who can. I usually know, we're here. So that's all I'm saying. And here's how to connect.
You can reach us at 877-897-8255. That's 877-897-8255. Or Dr. Garko at letstalknutrition.com. That's his personal email. Follow us again on Facebook at Let's Talk Nutrition and Let's Talk Nutrition on Instagram.
Go ahead.
We got the iHeart app. Even if you're not affiliate, if our affiliates are not iHeart,
a lot of our affiliates are not affiliated.
Right, they're not affiliated with iHeart, but you can use the app, and a lot of times you can go to your local radio station's page that you hear us on, and we're live on their radio on their page. Did you know that, Doc?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you should check that. And we added a new station.
We did.
Liberal, Kansas. Remember yesterday we were talking about that. I don't know if Joe's listening or not. He's never called in. Joe would be our syndicator. We have somebody that works full-time syndicating the show. We're in about 63, 65 markets. It'd be pretty cool for him to call in sometime. Yeah. You ought to send him a text or a message. Say, Doc, want to know if you want to call in. Just say hello. Yeah, he's sort of shy. He does a good job for us, and we're grateful. And I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you that we're trying to really connect. The bigger this platform, the better I feel. Not because of fame for it. Believe me, I live in virtual obscurity. It's just the knowing that we can help so many people and reach out and touch and connect Sometimes you say something that will get somebody onto the right path. You never know. You just never know. Yeah. And we're global.
We are global. And it's funny you were talking about being of because you live a very simple life.
It is simple, isn't it?
It is a very simple life compared to who I've worked with before.
You've worked with some talents that are a lot of flash and bang, Gary. Not me, but go ahead.
And we were at, and this is one of our favorite hangouts at Starbucks. Everybody knows that. We hang out at Starbucks. And you will not believe the people that we just have normal conversations with about their health.
Yeah. They'll come up and talk, right?
Yeah.
Chat. They want to just talk. And have you ever seen me refuse anybody?
No.
Never.
No.
I never will.
Every time it just amazes me because I've known people that, that
they're pretty arrogant, right?
Yes. Yes.
Gary's worked with some famous talents. I'm not one of them, but we do okay.
But you care, and a lot of people don't get that. They don't understand how well that you.
How could you do a show like this and not care about it, right? I mean,
it's from the heart. You practice what you preach.
Try.
I go to your house, and the pantry, as opposed to my house that's full of peanut butter, jelly, and cookies, has supplements in it. Okay. And
healthy food in the house.
Very healthy. You work out.
Yep.
Okay. You help others when they work out.
Yep.
Because you've given me pointers because we were talking about because I want to look like Batista instead of looking like blah.
All you have to do is, you're doing fine, man. You're losing the weight. You lost 46 pounds. Your health is improving, and that's what you need to do. And our guest today,
Siggy, one of the people that helped me got started, giving me some of his products with the fiber
from Yerba Prima. Siggy's had his challenges in life with his health. He talked about it on air. He had cancer. He was young. He's still young, and if he was around, I would probably try to bear some influence on him. But my style is very subtle. Yes. I don't badger and bang away at people. You got to do this. That's not how you persuade. Persuasion is the sweet science, right?
Right.
No, not coercion. Didn't mean to talk about you while you're sitting there waiting, but we're talking about you while you're sitting there waiting. Siggy, welcome back to the show, pal. It's great to have you on, man.
Good morning, fellas. How are you?
Good.
Good.
So, this time of year, let me just ask you this, and I like an honest answer from you. How well do you do when under stress?
Man, that's a good question. It depends on what kind of stress. I think we all face different levels of stress, whether it's your job, whether it's at home. I've learned to cope with it just from my position and having a couple kids, but, I think stress just gets to everybody.
Do you ever have a short fuse?
I think we all have at some point of our life.
What causes that fuse to be short or to make that dynamite go off?
I'm in Orlando right now doing some trainings, and someone cut me off yesterday because the traffic is so great here in lovely Orlando. My fuse is pretty short.
Welcome to Mickey Mouse.
Yes.
I mean, if there wasn't that little 10-year-old kid in the car, that hand might have went up, and there might have been a gesture. That's how bad it was.
I see. We were just talking about that.
Yes.
He didn't hear our conversation.
No, and it was traffic. We started off with how stressful traffic is,
and you can't control that. And so, yeah. Do you do well with people who tend to be, they act like a jackass and get aggressive and get in your face? Do you do well with that?
I think as I started getting older,
that's a yes or no. Do you do well with that?
I've just. Not really, because I've cut those people.
Well, then there's two. Then there's two of us, Ziggy, because I don't either.
Are you waking up each day to
Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. And got Ziggy, like Cher, got one name. And Ziggy's is a shortened version of his last name because nobody can pronounce it. Ziggy, tell the people who you are, man. Tell them your name.
Sigmund Brzostowski.
There you go. Sigmund. Gotta like that, right? Brzostowski. Zygmunt Brzostowski. Listen, stress, gastrointestinal health, you don't want to say those two things in the same sentence. They don't go well together. Your company is a digestive health, company, digestive care company. Stress can just play havoc on the digestive system, especially during this time of year, coupled with all the bad food and too much, alcohol and whatnot to drink. People can get get themselves into a lot of trouble this time of year. Do you think there's anything from your company that can help with your the digestive system during the holidays?
We get this a lot, especially with New Year's resolutions and everything coming up soon, the way people are eating between Thanksgiving and all the family parties at Christmas. Cleanse. I mean, one of the biggest things to jumpstart your system to do is a cleanse. I tell everybody, especially New Year's resolutions, if you want to, get on that diet, start your grind, lose some weight, the first thing you should do is a cleanse.
Okay, let's talk about that then. You have several cleansing a type of products, yes?
Yeah, I mean, whether it's a basic cleanse and you want to just do fiber or psyllium.
All right, so let's talk. Let's talk about Let's start with the kit. Don't you have a kit?
Yeah, we have a women's and men's kit that are gender-specific cleanses, and they're a three-part kit. That one part's a fiber component, then there's an herbal component that's going to clean out all the organs in your system, and then there's a parasite formula that's going to flush out all the parasites. So it's really a one-stop shop.
It's funny. People will say, I don't have any parasites. How would they?
Oh, yes, you do.
Yes, you do. So let's talk about that. What's the name of that kit? What's it called?
The Women's Renew, and then the men's is called the Men's Rebuild.
All right. And what's in the Men's Rebuild kit that's so different from the Women's Renew?
Just, we did some different herbs in the kits. There's not much different between the two. We've got Dawn Quai, saw palmetto in one, and then we've got chase tree berry is one of the main ingredients in the other. The herbs for the men to help with the prostate. There's herbs in the women's to help promote a healthy, menstrual cycle.
Mm-hmm.
It's just little things that make them a little bit, gender specific.
So there's some herbal ingredients that are different in the two to accommodate different health issues and structure and function issues with men and women. I get that.
Yep.
Is the kit hard to use?
Simple.
What do you do?
Morning, night, lots of water. That's it.
Is it a pill, powder, liquid, or what?
Yeah, just capsules. 3 bottles. All 3 are in capsules, and the instructions are fairly easy on it. Right on the back of the kit, it gives you 2 ways to do it: a nice gentle cleanse, and if you feel like the gentle cleanse isn't enough and getting things going the way you want, then it gives you instructions on how to step it up to make it more. I don't want to say intense cleanse, but
what would a person experience, Zig? What would they experience? When using the cleanse kits, women's Renew or the Men's Rebuild kits, what would they experience to know? Do they feel anything, see anything? What?
I mean, after a couple of days, they're going to notice right away when they, I don't want to be graphic. When they look in the toilet, they're going to know.
Okay.
I mean, you're seeing things flush out of your system that have been stuck in your system for years.
Really?
I mean, it's a fact. You got nooks and crannies in your intestinal tract. There's stuff that's stuck in those nooks and crannies that just can't find its way out of your system, and it's in there, and that's just not good for your digestive system.
So this
okay. So I get bubble guts when I get stressed. Do you think this would help with that?
Could.
Sure.
It could.
Sure.
Sort of like cleaning out a closet that's been you've been throwing junk in there for for years and years and years, and then you start cleaning it out and you say, I don't even remember putting this in here. Where does this come from? What is this? Who's this belong to? So you will actually see some differences in the waste material. Do people report feeling anything?
Yeah, once you start flushing out some of those toxins and some of the bad stuff in your system, you're going to see your energy levels rise. I mean, fairly fast, fairly quickly.
Mm-hmm. So when do you recommend doing these 2 kits, one for women, one for men, during the holidays, or do you wait till after the holidays?
You can do it during the holidays. I tell some people, listen, you start eating bad during Thanksgiving. It's a 1-month cleanse, so you can do it right through the holidays. Typically, people, though, when they get on their New Year's resolution kicks, they want to start right after Christmas, right after the New Year. But, I mean, why wait? Why wait for New Year?
So in other words, this would be sort of like doing the cleanse during the holidays would be sort of like going to confession and committing the sin at the same time. Doesn't make any sense, right? I'm in confession. I'm going to commit the sin. I'm going to step out of the booth and go commit the sin, come back in again. No. So I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get it. All right. So this would be something to consider as you get on the other side of the holidays. Start this cleanse kit. Now, you mentioned the fiber, the psyllium, and you said if you needed something stronger. It's interesting. I thought the kit would be stronger than some of the fiber products. Come back, we'll explain. By the way, stress is connected to anxiety. Anxiety equals the C word, constipation.
Women who are pregnant or planning to have a child have specific nutritional needs. Maintaining optimal nutritional intake is important for mother and baby. Body Vigor's Preferred Prenatal can help mother and baby receive the appropriate building blocks for growth, development, and healthy function. The Preferred Prenatal formula provides essential vitamins and minerals, along with added support ingredients such as folic acid and DHA. Preferred Prenatal also incorporates a bonus herbal blend to help the mom-to-be with the uncomfortable side effects of pregnancy, like nausea, vomiting, mood swings, and uterine health. Support a healthy pregnancy for you and your baby with Preferred Prenatal, exclusively on Amazon.com.
Holiday stress and digestion don't go well together. Don't want those in the same sentence. Welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition. Stress can have a huge impact. Huge impact on your digestion. We're laughing because there's a commercial that runs here locally. This guy's selling cars, and he says, huge. You can probably do a better imitation of him than I can. He's hysterical. But nevertheless.
But huge in impact, though, when we're talking about bowels.
Okay, so, it's more than that. Listen now. Here's what happens. Stress has a big effect on your digestion. Remember what I said about the gas syndrome? Remember that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. General adaptation syndrome. When under stress, the blood gets shunted away from organ systems that are not necessary to engage in fight or flight. The last thing your body's going to be doing when under stress is what? Digesting food. It's pumping blood to the legs, pumping blood to your arms, getting your heart rate up. So digestion, that's why when under chronic stress, people become constipated, they'll get diarrhea, they don't digest, they'll get gas and bloating because they're not digesting their food well, because they're under the stress response. The body's focused on other systems, and consequently, your body's not concerned with digesting food, and you don't digest it. Further, it affects peristalsis. That's how the fecal matter moves through the colon. The contraction of the muscle, it's literally squeezing it along up the ascending, transverse, and descending colon. When under stress, again, the body's not focused on the colon and going to the bathroom. It's focused on either you fighting or fleeing, and then you get constipated. It's starting to make sense now. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to put Ziggy's... We have a picture of that handsome young man? Yeah. Zygmunt Brzostowski is my guest today, also known as Ziggy. Ziggy, welcome back. This is where you mentioned that beyond the cleansing kits, something stronger like your fiber products would be very helpful for people during the holidays, especially if they're under stress, yes?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know. I don't want to say stronger. You know, the cleanse is obviously going to be more complete because you're cleansing your organs, you're cleansing your intestines, you know, you got the parasite formula. But if you're looking for an everyday thing that you can start right now, I tell everyone, psyllium. You want to start a diet, psyllium. The bulking aspect of psyllium is so big. I mean, one, with a diet, it's going to help you feel full. You know, two, it's going to sweep through your colon and it's going to bulk out in that intestinal tract. And it's going to get to all those hard-to-reach spots that I talked about, nooks and crannies in there.
So
grab a lot of the stuff that's stuck in there.
I understand. So if you have somebody who's under stress during the holidays, severe stress, chronic stress, one of two things can happen digestively. They can either become constipated or they can get diarrhea. Stress can cause the food to move too quickly through the digestive system, and it doesn't leave enough time then for the nutrients to get absorbed, and then people will have nutritional deficiencies. Does fiber make the diarrhea worse or make it better?
It's going to give you a healthy stool.
So, okay. Some people might say or think, well, if I have diarrhea, I don't want to take fiber because it's going to make me go to the bathroom even more.
Not true.
Not true.
Not true.
Okay. You're the expert. I just ask questions. What do I know?
I mean, listen, you know, if you're having that type of stool, I mean, you know, a good healthy stool it's you know, you're not overstraining. I hate to get graphic on it. But
no, well, this is a health show. You can get graphic as you want. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, you really want a good healthy stool. You don't want anything it's not too hard coming out. It's not too liquidy coming out.
Sure.
I don't know how else to describe it besides just having a healthy bowel movement.
All right. So under stress, the body's focused. It shifts its focus from the digestive system Consequently, you don't digest the food well. You can get constipated. Constipation interrupts detoxification processes. That leads to another range of problems here. Gas, bloating, stomach pain, weight gain. You see the connection. Stress, people say stress causes weight gain. This is one way in which it does that. People will also overeat when under stress. Stress can also cause heartburn, Zig. Physiological stress causes the sphincter, that lower esophageal sphincter muscle at the bottom of the esophagus, cause that closes off the esophagus from the stomach. It causes it to spasm. Hence, it opens up, and then the stomach acid gets pushed up into the esophagus. Fiber does soluble fiber help with that at all? Or no?
I mean,
maybe no. Maybe no.
Going to help lower cholesterol levels. I don't really know as far
okay.
as.
Well, it's okay. Maybe it doesn't. Yeah. Maybe it doesn't. But I was thinking that maybe the soluble fiber can help absorb some of that acid. I don't know. Probably not. But that's yet another effect of stress. So it would be important then to take some of those fiber products that you have during the holidays. What are they? Name them.
I mean, there'll be two different types. I mean, we're known for our psyllium. Psyllium is just one form of fiber, and as I talked about before, it's great for the bulking aspect, helps lower cholesterol, helps lower glucose levels. But if somebody maybe doesn't want to do psyllium and they just want to do a well-balanced form of fiber, we offer a wide variety of just balanced fiber blends. We have daily fiber, we have colon care, and then we offer just a soluble form of fiber also.
Okay, let's take those one at a time. You can take them at whatever way you want to do it. Take one at a time and break them down.
Sure. So we have 5 psyllium products. They're all the same. It's just a matter of, one comes in a whole husk, one's a finer grind, it's a powder. We have caps, veggie caps, and then we have an organic psyllium.
Okay, so let's talk about that. You said one's that's a little confusing. You have 5 different psyllium products. What was that first classification? Finer?
We got a whole husk.
Whole husk?
Yeah, and then we have a psyllium powder that's a finer grind, so what's going to happen is when you take that, it's just going to break down a lot faster than...
Why would somebody then take the whole husk? Why would people take the whole husk?
Honestly, people just prefer the whole husk sometimes. Me personally, I like the whole husk. I mix it with my smoothies every morning. I think it's fantastic. It's got more of a oatmeal-looking texture to it as opposed to a powder that's just a really fine grind.
Okay. All right. We're here to learn. Come back. We'll continue this some more. So one of the effects of stress is to cause constipation. Holidays, lots of stress, lots of bad food, lots of constipation. Enter stage left, the fiber.
Are your joints feeling out of date and stiff? Is that old sports injury flaring up? Is your body aching from the daily wear and tear at work? Body Vigor's Joint Ready keeps you at the ready for any joint pain that gets out of line. Unfortunately, as we age, joint pain becomes more common. Body Vigor's Joint Ready can help provide relief so you can continue to go about your day. Our formula contains sulfated forms of glucosamine and chondroitin. Studies show that these sulfated forms are more effective than regular glucosamine bound to hydrochloride. Joint Ready promotes a healthy inflammatory response, facilitates cartilage synthesis, and provides additional antioxidants. Keep your joints at the ready with Body Vigor's Joint Ready, exclusively on Amazon.com.
Here's the LTN health question of the day. Talking with Zygmunt Brzostowski, also known as Siggy, from Yerba Prima, about digestive health and stress, especially during the holidays. Here's the question. Which of the following is a consequence of stress? In other words, how does stress affect the digestive system? Which of the following is true? A, stress affects gut peristalsis, the movement of material through the colon. B, stress causes heartburn. C, stress will affect your immunity, gut immunity, and make it weaker. D, stress will weaken your digestive metabolism. Or E, all of the above. Which of those statements is true? Stress will affect gut peristalsis. Stress will cause heartburn. Stress will affect your gut immunity. Stress will weaken your digestive metabolism. Or E, all of the above statements are true, and the effects of stress on digestive health. Here's the number to call to win the $25 supplement gift card. I'll give you a clue in a minute.
You can reach us at 877-897-8255. That's 877-897-8255.
Ziggy, welcome back. Okay, so you were talking about the different fiber products, and you were saying psyllium, and you have 5 different renditions of psyllium. You have the whole husk, then the powdered, and then it comes in different pill form, you said?
Yeah, caps and vegetable caps for those people that are vegan out there.
Okay. So that's 3. And what are the other 2 renditions?
Then we have just regular caps, and then we have organic and the whole husk.
Oh, organic whole husk. Okay. So that takes care of psyllium and sold in fine health stores throughout the United States. What about your daily fiber? What about that product, and what is it?
Just to make this really as simple as possible, daily fiber is just a really good fiber blend. So anybody looking to supplement their diet with fiber, because I'm telling you, people say, I get enough fiber in my diet. 99% of those people are false. They're not getting enough fiber in their diet.
Okay, so what's the blend? What is the blend? You said it's a blend of fibers.
Yeah, it's just a blend of 5 different fiber types.
Do you know those off the top?
Do
you know this off the top of your head, by any chance?
Yeah, pectins, lignans. It's both soluble, insoluble.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's a general all-purpose good blend?
Just a general all-purpose good blend. I mean, for these people that are going to buy Metamucil, all you're doing is taking sugar with a fiber blend. I mean, you might as well drink a cup of sugar. Our products, it's going to be all natural, no sugar in it, just a really good fiber supplement.
Okay, so that's daily fiber. What's the other fiber product?
We have colon care. Colon care is similar, almost the same as daily fiber, with the exception of we added selenium and magnesium that will strengthen and rebuild the lining of the colon. And then it also has FOS, which is fructooligosaccharides, which is going to help feed and multiply the good bacteria in the gut.
Is that particular fiber, what's it called?
Colon care.
Is that especially when people are having real digestive issues, constipation issues and digestion issues?
No, the one product you would want for that is called Fiber Plus that we offer.
Oh, Fiber Plus.
Powder and caps.
Okay.
Yeah, we've added Senna to that product. Senna is a natural laxative, so it's something that gets your system jump-start. Once you get the results you need, that's when you would switch over to one of the other products. Just because your system can have a laxative dependency for these people that are taking laxative type products. So this would be something that would really get your system going, and you can switch back over to one of the other products.
Okay, and give the name of that product again.
Fiber Plus.
Okay.
It comes in apple spice powder and caps.
All right. So there's the psyllium products. There are 5 of those. Then there's daily fiber. Then there is Fiber Plus, and there was one more.
Colon care.
Colon care. Those are all explained and described at Yerba Prima, Yerba, Yerba Prima, Prima, yerbaprima.com. Let's go to St. Petersburg, Florida. Joe, welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Which of the following statements is true about the impact of stress on digestion system? It affects peristalsis. It causes heartburn. It affects gut immunity. Stress can weaken the digestive metabolism. Or are all of those statements true?
All of the above.
All of the above. Congratulations. How you doing with your diet, brother?
I will see you on the 7th in Tampa, and I'll give you a full report. You'll be amazed.
I probably won't even be able to recognize you. You're going to look like Cary Grant, man.
I got some questions for you anyhow when I see you.
Okay, yeah, you're going to come in. You're going to look like Cary Grant. You're going to have a nice suit on, man. You know how cool he was? I loved Cary Grant. I loved him.
He was great, but I tell you, Doc, I'm not going to look as good as you do.
Really? Well, work on it.
Okay, I'm trying.
All right, man. I'll see you December 7th. I'll be appearing at the Vitamin Discount Center. God, it's incorrigible. I'll be in the Vitamin Discount Center in South Tampa from 12 to 2. It's like sort of like a meet and greet. Please stop by and bring your health questions. I'd love to meet you. I really would. And thank you for your support of the show. I may even say a few words on something that might be appropriate relative to health and nutrition and whatnot. You never know. And we'll look for you there. And I'll look for you there too, Joe. And I'm sure you'll be handsome, no doubt about it.
Okay.
All right, man.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Doc.
My pleasure. Ziggy, you're handsome too, brother. You're in Orlando with the family?
I am in Orlando working.
Oh, you're working. I thought you brought the family with you.
No, I wish. I wish.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, have fun. Watch out for Mickey Mouse and watch out for the traffic.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving to all you guys and your listeners.
Yeah, well, holidays. Thanksgiving is over. You're caught in it. You're caught in the time warp, man. You need to get back to Chicago. All right, Ziggy, we'll catch you later. YerbaPrima.com. See you, pal. YerbaPrima.com. Their products are terrific, and the price is right with them. They don't gouge you. Yeah, so it's sold in fine health stores throughout the United States. We'll see you tomorrow, God willing. We'll look for you. And we'd like to, again, welcome the radio station in Liberal, Kansas. We'll talk about them tomorrow. Your health is your wealth in the meantime, yeah?